Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. My name is Moustafa Bounasser. I am the CTO for Invenica. 10 years ago, I started working on my first blockchain project. Back then, the buzzword was actually Bitcoin, not blockchain. And every project that I was involved into was either cryptocurrency trading platform or a cryptocurrency mining site, which was very lucrative until China took over and basically ruined it for everybody else. And then everybody was hyped up about ICOs and the potential of raising funds from the general public and what that could do to innovation and funding startups. Although some of the ICOs helped create some amazing products and new values and created return on investment to the investors, the amount of investment that was put into ICOs with absolutely no value whatsoever was astonishing. Some of the investors got stuck with cryptocurrency coins or tokens and no stake in the business whatsoever. And then there was that one time when financial services worried about Bitcoin, by the way. How did that go, guys? Anybody here from financial services? There we go. Thank you, Jenny. Thanks to the guys in financial services and banking, we've managed to demystify blockchain over the last 5 years or so. So without you guys, we wouldn't be here talking about scaling blockchain to enterprise. The truth is, blockchain has come of age. The interest of the technology went beyond financial services and extended to industries like media and telecom, commodity and trading, insurance, manufacturing, and even government services, surprisingly. According to Gartner, blockchain is to unlock a value of 176 billion by the year 2025, which will extend to a total amount of value of $3 trillion globally by the year 2030. If this is telling us anything, is that blockchain is here to stay, and that blockchain is creating opportunities and new markets. Everybody knows about the two main features of blockchain, disintermediation and immutability. And everybody knows about its peer-to-peer transaction capabilities, but what a lot of people fail to recognize is what blockchain can bring to B2B in terms of collaboration between partners. Use cases like asset tracking, record keeping, reconciliation, and my favorite, supply chain are some of the examples that potentially can bring a lot of value to all of the parties within the ecosystem, including the end consumer. Last year, I had the privilege to be involved in a blockchain project for a consumer electronic giant who, like everybody else, wanted to explore what blockchain adds as value to their business and to the industry. And I'm going to tell you the average story of that project. It all started with a very big problem, counterfeit and the gray market, basically, which is estimated to be 461 billion worth totally. And the amount of problem in terms of money that this market created for businesses is around 100 billion US dollars worth of post-trade settlements. For this particular client, the counterfeit market or counterfeit products and components, low-grade components, kept creeping into their production lines. Some of their products were very sensitive and required high-level grade of security features. This, of course, caused them losses around 16.4 million US dollars a year, and the biggest loss for them is the loss of trust in their suppliers. We started our journey with the client, as everybody else does, with the discovery phase, where we checked or assessed the relevant technologies against the use case. Understanding the client supply chain processes, ways of working, environment, culture, and legacy was very essential to design a product that is viable for the business, desirable by the customers, and also technically feasible. We've used some approaches like design thinking, for instance, and collected feedback from the employees, which helped us pinpoint some of the pain points within the processes and contributed to the enhancement of these processes. The proposed solution was a permissioned ledger, of course, that enabled business entities within the ecosystem to log in transactions relevant to the supply chain and information about the product into the ledger. And we've paired the blockchain technology with IoT, mobile, and web. And what we've managed to do is build an MVP-grade solution that enabled scanning uniquely identified crypto tags or connecting self-identifying electronic components that were able to generate a unique electronic fingerprint. These components, of course, were tracked across the supply chain the moment an order was placed to a supplier, all the way across the retail business. The MVP revealed that it's possible, of course, to track these items. That was the mission that we were set up to do. And after multiple orders were placed through the new legacy, we were able actually to start grading suppliers and assess their products and attribute a score to their mission assurance. After a few demos for the leadership and partners and other suppliers within the ecosystem, and a very well written proposal that demonstrated the value of scaling this project to enterprise, risks and mitigation plans, and of course how we are going to integrate the proposed solution within the existing legacy of the client, the team managed to secure enough budget to move to the next phase. The next phase basically consisted of, in a matter of fact, still consists today as the product or project is still going through partner development phases of quarterly iterations divided into sprints, delivery sprints. And we have 3 teams that are working closely with the client to build the necessary deliverables that will fit within this big picture that we're trying to build with the client. Some of the features that the team managed to build so far were, of course, SDKs and APIs for integration with suppliers. We've managed to build a blockchain participant onboarding framework for partners within the industry. They managed to integrate the ledger with the billing system, but also with SAP, with the plant or factory management system. They also added an integration with the warehouse management system. Later on, the iOS version of the mobile followed up because it was impeded by Apple not unlocking NFC technology until early last year. The team also contributed into resolving a lot of architectural concerns that were related to this use case, mainly security and availability. And one of the things that we were specifically asked due to the nature of the industry in question is to add a business layer to protect intellectual property. The reason why is our client and their partners felt that in order to have a safe competition within the industry, some of the orders need to be either obscurified or removed from the ledger, otherwise the competition won't make sense of what you're trying to build. In addition to that, some of the things that we've done, to be honest, is for our own sake to keep inspiring the clients and keep the project for longer and create new value with the client, is investigating new growth channels, customer experiences, and include new innovative features. Some of the things that our teams innovated or ideated with the client and managed to co-create throughout this project are things like a project monitor dashboard that managed to display the progress status of production and assembly lines. They created a digital twin representation of these products, including schematics of the products that are linked to the information within the supply chain legend, and of course, smart device integrations, because those were some of the products that the manufacturer actually produced. Throughout delivering value to our client, there was one question that we kept asking ourselves, and that was what's next? We operated on growth hacking, so not long-term plans were set up. It's more about learning and feeding the feedback to the client and working with the client if we are to pivot or persevere. Some of the things that we're discussing with the client today are things like, can we create a supplier marketplace sitting on top of this ledger? We are talking about something else, which is, in my opinion, very poetic, which is, can we extend the functionality value of the supply chain ledger into other industries? And can we add more value into what we've done under the theme upgrading integrity from a single source of truth to a distributed source of truth? This, of course, was a very nice success story. Of course, we do have a lot of less successful stories and a lot of burns that we've learned a great deal from, but that wouldn't be very inspiring to tell in the opening presentation. But the main point here that I want to convey is that scaling blockchain to enterprise is possible. The question is, why aren't a lot of enterprises today scaling their enterprise products, their blockchain products? With a show of hands here, who is involved currently or has got blockchain in their agenda for their business? Fantastic. And who amongst you is thinking about scaling blockchain to enterprise? Fantastic. Well, you guys, you should be part of this board and tell us your stories as well. According to Gartner, there has been 379 blockchain projects worldwide, 153 in Europe alone, and out of those, 43 in the United Kingdom, which is astonishing and very impressive, to be honest. However, very few actually made it to scale. So what is exactly stopping organizations from scaling their ideas when it comes to blockchain? Well, first of all, I'm going to say it. Well, I think what's fundamentally wrong with technology today is that there is too much information out there. Information that has not been verified by SMEs, information that is not factual, and information that is misleading, in my opinion. I've been in so many blockchain events, I've seen so many blockchain products. Some of them would promise that they can solve all of your organizational problems and on the side bring peace to the Middle East. But the reality is that there is no size that fits all. Although there are some amazing products out there, all that you have to do is basically assess whether they will fit for your organization or not. The other thing is blockchain in its nature is a technology that promotes peer-to-peer transaction value, and it's very valuable in the B2B space to enhance collaboration. What organizations need to understand is that it's not a technology that you can own. It's a technology that you should use to promote B2B value with your partners. The other thing is understanding what is scalable in blockchain and what is not. For instance, in most cases, private blockchain is not applicable. If you are thinking about building values in private blockchain within your organization, then just ask yourself why. Public blockchain is ideal and very promising, and to be honest, that's where everything started. However, there are a lot of questions that needs to be answered there in terms of availability, portability, regulations, etc. And the two main questions for anybody here who is involved in innovation is, what would be the impact of edge computing, and can it enhance public blockchain, and what is the threat that quantum computing will bring in the future? In my opinion, the sweet spot for enterprise investment is permissioned ledger. Again, and I'm sure that Paolo will extrapolate later on this when it comes to security, there's a lot to add in there. But in my opinion as well, the perfect version of a public blockchain is a network of permissioned blockchain that are interconnected with each other. This is the part that you will get some advice for free. If you have the intent to venture into blockchain, I encourage you to ask yourself these following questions. Do I need to start working on my use case by myself, or do I need partners? Or in other terms, does success require other partners? The other question is, am I building a product or a platform? This is just something that we've learned through multiple engagement with clients. The short answer is there is no gray area you have to decide. The next thing is identify the desired outcome and the need of your use case. What do I want exactly from this new product? Is it viable for my business? Can I monetize it? Is it desirable by my customers? And how will it fit within my organization's ecosystem? You need also to define the right technology partner, whether it's a consultancy or an integrator. If there is a good product from a vendor out there, then technically that's the advice you should get from your technology partner. The last thing is invest in skills for the future. Blockchain is a technology that will define the future of IT infrastructure. Think big and execute in small iterations, and always keep in your mind that at some point you might need to either decide to either pivot or persevere. My name is Moustafa Bounasser. Thank you very much.